ready to go.
Okay. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. And for you new people out there, go ahead and subscribe. It's free, and we really do appreciate it. So today we're working on this 420cc PowerHorse motor. I picked it up as part of a deal for something else, and actually I bought it with a go-kart. And if you look at it, you can see it's a little bit of a basket case. It looks like it's in good condition, and it looks like it was stored dry, but it also looks like it's all taken apart. Now, it's hard to say why it was taken apart, but there you go. It was. So let's see if we can get it back together and see if we can get this thing running. One of the things I thought about when I was looking at this, when I originally started taking it down, was I looked at the color of it, and I looked over at the little go-kart, which is just about ready to go. And I thought, you know, the colors match. I should put these together. But yeah, I know, terrible idea. 14 horse on a kid go-kart would get somebody killed. So let's see what sort of mess we've got here. There we go. Now, I don't know how long it's been stored, and he did tell me it was stored dry, but you know how that works. When it comes like this, you sort of assume you've got nothing. So let's go ahead and pull the carb off, and I'll run her through the cleaner real quick first. I'll go ahead and strip it down because it's just easy enough to do. See the linkage. And remember to take a lot of pictures. This one's all half taken apart already, but lots of pictures of your friend. So let's take this over here and pull the ball off and get a look inside. We'll pull the jets and we'll give her a good bath. Okay, buddy. I'll bet you a nickel you're a 10 millimeter. Woohoo, I won a nickel. Woohoo. Bet you a nickel you're on there pretty tight, too. There we go. Hard to say. Here's the moment of truth for every carburetor. You take the bowl off and see what's inside. Wow. This one looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and pull the jet out. See what that looks like. This thing may have actually been stored dry. And as usual, the jet's hanging up in there. And there she is. And I'm looking through the jet, and I don't see anything. I don't see any daylight at all. That means even though she looked promising, we're going to have to go ahead and run the carb through the ultrasonic. And we'll run the jet through while we're at it. So let's go ahead and break her down and clean her up. Now we're checking the little rubber on the float to make sure there aren't impressions, and there aren't, so that's all good and savable. So I'm going to give this a bath and run it through the ultrasonic, and we'll see you shortly. Okay, the temperature is getting close, so we're going to go ahead and drop her in. Put the jet in a little basket just so it doesn't fall through the holes. You don't like anything sitting on the bottom of your ultrasonic when it's cleaning. It'll wear holes in the metal. Nope. Ow, hot, hot, hot. It's hot, but it's not full on hot. Went ahead and hosed this off a little. Doesn't do much for cleaning it, but at least keeps my water clean. And we're using 20% Pine Sol, maybe 30% Pine Sol, and the rest is plain old water. So let's let it run for, let's put the handle in. Might as well clean it up while we're at it. That's the choke lever. And while we're waiting for that, we'll go ahead and get to work on this. This is not what you would call intuitive, but if you've got some idea where they go, it's pretty easy. Most of the wires will only go one direction on this. You won't think that when you first start, but it's true. Okay. Come on, buddy. There you go. A little lock nut for this. Let's tighten her down. We've got a 10 millimeter. The only wrench you'll ever need for this motor is a 10. There's one. Okay, you know, we got one brown wire here. And that's our magic. Here's our other brown wire. And once you hook these two together, the rest of it gets easy. Because you got an innie and an outie. Plug the innie in the innie and the outie in the outie, and you're done. Our insulation leaves something to be desired on this one. Almost looks like this box didn't come with this particular motor. That one looks pretty good. None of it looks bad, but none of it looks good. I'm going to go ahead and wrap her up with a little electrical tape. I know we've got a lot of background noise going right now, but between the fan and the ultrasonic, it can get pretty noisy in here. So sorry about that. And you guys can't give me a hard time about the electrical tape. I'll wrap it pretty thoroughly. And remember, this thing's not going into space. Best case scenario for this thing's lifespan is it'll be working on a rototiller or something someplace. And electrical tape will work just fine for that for years. And with our factory insulators in place, that's going to do most of the job for us anyway. Oakley dokley. Yeah, it's just noisy as hell out there today. Now it's going to be hard to tell how well this one came out because it looked pretty good when it went in. Jet looks really good. Lever looks a little bit better. Hard to say. Now we'll go ahead and blow this out, let it cool off a little, and bolt her back on. Okay, she's cool enough to throw back together now. I don't like to put them back together while they're still hot from the ultrasonic, because the clearances will change as it cools off. And you might end up accidentally creating a leaker. Yeah, the difference between that PowerHorse and the Honda, I could steal parts from one and put them on the other all day long. Of course we won't, because then we won't have parts for the Honda. That's about all there is to it. Let's go throw her back on the motor. Let's see if we've got enough parts to throw her back on the motor. Spending a lot of time going out and buying one nut and bolt at a time for this one. Somebody lay in there. There you go. And there you go. We've already got a gasket here, so we're good to go there. Very nice. We'll put the fuel line on and we'll cut it to size later when we do the tank. Our spring's hung up funny. Yeah, that's better. Doing one of these that's all taken apart when you buy it, it's a lot more work than building it yourself. Mostly because you don't have any pictures or anything to start with. You don't have a mental image of where everything was, because it wasn't. Now we're probably going to want to go underneath this. We're going to want to go underneath it because we don't want to touch it while it's running. Let's see how that looks. That looks outstanding. I went to the store and got a whole bunch of nuts and bolts and whatnot so we can put this bad boy together. So let's get to it. See, the first thing I'll do is the fuel line. There we go. Our little fuel line clamp. We definitely want to put the fuel line on before we put it back on. If we have to shorten the fuel line, we'll do it on the other end later. Because once this bolts on, it's bolted on. Okay, the vent we can put off to the side. There we are. These are a pretty typical puzzle. There's one order that goes together in. If you don't follow the order correctly, this thing's a pain in the butt. See, you thought I was going to say, didn't you? Okay. And there we go. We've got most of what you'd call a motor. Let's cut you, get you ready to go. This is nothing but a vent line, but it is a fuel vent line, so we'll put the clip on it if it'll fit. And I'm pretty sure it will. It does. Okay. The only thing we got left is to put a battery on it and see if she runs. Next up is to try to get her started. Now you guys missed it last night. I tried to pull start it. It's a 14-horse engine. Pull starting it really wasn't an option. If it was bolted to something, I might be able to do it, but I just couldn't get her started. Okay, guys, we don't have a very good connection, but we should have enough. Oh, that was close. This motor came out pretty good. Lots of nuts and bolts and a lot of tinkering to get it running, but she does run, she runs good. And I'm pretty happy with the deal I made for it. Now it's too big to put on a little go-kart, and believe me, I'm tempted, but I'm sure somebody will put good use to this on a bigger piece of equipment. So for all you new people out there, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It's what we work for and it's free. So thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.